Hi everyone and happy Monday. Now we have quite a complicated looking page to do today just because of all the itty bitty details. This is from Rumors of Wonder, by the way, by Johanna Basford. Now I have a few ideas for this page, a few differing ideas, but anyway, what I've done is I've grabbed one of these. Now actually I'm working through my colour cube box in order. These are the colour cube cards by Renae. I'll put a link in the description, so if you want to find out more about them, you can get 250 cards in a box. I've done some review videos as well. I've done a review video of them before, but this was my next one, and I just felt that I would use it for this, and we could do a sort of nighttime type scene with a few gentle glows from the candles and things, and basically quite dark, and then everything can be a similar colour to each other, which I think will make it easier to colour and quicker and different. So I looked at this card and I thought, what colours can I pick for these colours? Okay, if you look on the back it gives you a bit more information, and I looked very quickly through these and I was like, well, this is sky blue, light ultramarine, indigo and black from Polychromos. I just immediately, my mind went there. So that is what I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to grab those now out of my trays that I've got beside me. Now you can use varying shades. So you can use some, as you can see from here, can't speak, slightly lighter and darker shades of these, but really I think these will be enough. We want to keep it really simple, so I don't really want to use more colours than just these. Now my next idea was thinking about the sky outside and thinking, is the moonlight coming in? To draw a little moon in the sky make that our sort of starting point, which I am going to do, but I'm just looking around to see if I've got something round to draw a moon. I've got this is rather too big. Drawing around a pencil sharpener is always quite difficult, so what I'm going to do is go and find myself a round thing, because I haven't got any in here, and come back and show you how to do it. Right, I have this is my husband's sort of drawing tool, so we can choose what size. Now I'm doing a full moon obviously from the circle. Now I was going to put it in the middle. It's quite difficult to get something in the middle. I'm going to have to do it that way round, I think. Maybe this size. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it this way round because the ring gets in the way. And yeah, I would like to do it quite in the middle. It's trying to figure out exactly the middle. So I was going to use those as a guide, but they're not in the middle. I think that's okay. I'm going to use the arch actually as a guide there. And now I'm going to take my lightest pencil, which is the sky blue. Okay, I'm just going to sharpen it because I want it sharp. And just check again, and I'm going to draw on it really lightly so I can check. Notice I'm drawing right over the window lines and everything. I can check it's in the middle. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to colour in my sky with the sky blue. So the moon I'm going to leave white, so I'm just going to colour it in quite gently. Now I know I said that this is a night scene, but my idea is that the moonlight, I'm going to colour over the window, don't worry about it. The moonlight is lighting up the sky, so the moon is going to be white, okay? Or I might do it silver with a pen or something, but I'll probably just leave it white. So just going to colour that sky in. I'm getting warm now. It's strange weather today. I woke up to torrential rain, and then when I got up I thought I heard a bit of a rumble of thunder. I went down for breakfast and there was this huge clap of thunder and then more heavy rain, and it's just mad and I need to go out. But and I actually opened the French door because my neighbour had a delivery and she wasn't in. No, she wasn't up. So I shouted across to the delivery man to see if he wanted to drop it here. But he'd actually phoned her and got her out of bed so she could get it. Poor thing. Anyway, that was about 7 o'clock, I think. Something's gone a bit wrong here, I think, with my circle shape. Is that the right one? I think I need to colour in there. That's a problem. So anyway, that was luckily in between rain showers. But when I opened the door, it was really, really warm and muggy. But I'm actually quite cold. It was quite chilly in the kitchen. I think it's beginning to get cooler overnight. And the house has got quite cold, which is quite nice. So there is our moon. Now, you can't really see it, can you? Now, I think I'm going to take my darker blue, the ultramarine, and do a bit of a darker area around the bottom here, because the moon light would be sort of, the sky would get darker the further away from the moon that it is. So I'm going to put a bit of darker blue, as I say, the ultramarine, fade it up from this corner into our sky blue. Now I have to admit that I have been procrastinating this page a bit because it is so detailed, and I've had lots of different ideas. I've been chatting to my friend Mary about my ideas for this page because she was like, have you seen this page? And I was like, yes. And she said, I don't think I coloured it in the original book. I was like, I did, and I did a video for it. So there is an alternative video if you don't like this one. And now I'm going to use the ultramarine light, or light ultramarine, sorry, to sort of transition between these two colours. And I said, I've got this brilliant idea. I said, I'm going to do some moonlight coming in the window, and then because it's moonlight, it's dark, it's night time, and we just paint the rest of the room black. You can do that if you want. It would certainly make it easier, but I'm not going to do that. Don't worry. We're gonna, there we are. So you can sort of try to then blend the darker into the lighter colour. Okay, now we are going to use some black now. We're going to use the black, and we're going to draw in the window things, you know, things, a frame, and see how it works, how it looks. So once these are in, whether the moon stands out enough, I'm a bit worried that maybe it doesn't, but maybe it doesn't need to, I don't know. So I'm just going to block these in the black because they'd be silhouetted up against the moon sky, the moonlight. I think doing the moon as well gives it a more mystical, magical air. I'm sure other people have probably done the same thing on their versions of this page, and I've probably seen them and been influenced by it because I've probably when the book came out, everyone was doing pages from it. I had a very, very, very exciting discovery yesterday. Well, I was at my mum's house and my niece was there, and she asked my mum if my mum had any colouring pencils because she's got a colouring book. No, she asked me if I could recommend any colouring pencils, that's right. And she's got a book which she hasn't, and she said hers have all broken. I think her dogs chewed them up. her pencil. She had a set of Ergosoft that I bought her, I think. Anyway, so I was sort of chatting to her a little bit, and then my mum says, oh, I've got some that I don't use. Would you like those, Lip? Okay. So she's there looking through, and she's got a handful of pencils, you know, like that, and in a jar, and she has some Faber Castell triangle grip ones with the little dots on. I didn't know what those were like. I've never tried them. I played with them a little bit. They seemed okay. They blended okay, which was interesting. But she also had some open stock Polychromos, and I was looking at what colours she had. I said, I'm not going to take them. You can have them because I've got them all, sort of thing. You know, my niece doesn't afford to buy her own. And among them was this, which I did take. This is I don't know if you can see, is a light violet Polychroma pencil, number 139. Never seen one before. It is not part of the 120 set, and did a little bit of digging. Apparently light violet and light blue are discontinued Polychromos pencils from I'm not sure what year, a long time ago. Now I'm going to use my black to do this inside bit of the window frame. Can you see just this little bit? I'm going to do it a little bit more lightly than the actual bars of the window. So it's a discontinued, and so I had a look, and Amazon had a listing for it, and someone had sold them off. I assume like they're sort of old stock or something, and they'd been selling them for £14 a pencil because they were discontinued. And there were interesting comments from people going, I thought this was 6 pencils, it's so expensive. And then other people going, that's because it's discontinued, it's rare. But I now have this precious pencil, and it's made me want to do some more research into what I'm going to do a bit of a darker line right on this outside edge, because there'll be a shadow from here, and you know, to have a look and find out more. So I wrote to Faber Castell. I only had their USA email address. I could only dig out yesterday, and asked them, and the lady said, I've been working here for 14 years and I only remember 2 discontinued colours, that one and a light blue. And I also found a list on their website of all the name changes on their pencils. Now, most of us are probably aware that they changed the names of their medium flesh, light flesh and dark flesh to salmon, coral and beige red. But that isn't their only name change. They also have changed names of other pencils. Now, I'm looking at this border here and wondering whether to do it just in really dark black as a sort of silhouette border, or whether to do it in a lighter colour and do this bit darker. What to do. Right, the inside of the room, I thought I may just use my dark indigo and just go through shading everything. So first step is, we have our dark room, let's open it out a little bit. Right, first step is to go over all of it with a light of the indigo. Now I want to, if I'm going to do this border in dark black, it doesn't matter if I go over it. But if I'm not, it does matter. So I've got to have a quick think about that first. I think I will go around the border. Okay, so I'm just going to hold my pencil really far up and just do this over everything. Now I know we have lamps, we have candles, we have things like that. That's fine. I'm going to draw those back in with white as our white pen. I've already gone over the edge after, so I'm not going to worry about those now. So we're just going to go over everything inside our little line, our border. So anything that's overhanging the border, try to avoid. It's a bit tricky. Don't worry too much. It's not. It's just colouring. Anyway, so my I've written to German Faber Castell. I thought as they're German, they might know a bit more. But yeah, the list of other names that have changed. This sky blue, this used to be called smalt blue. And what else was there? The magenta, the crimson used to be called magenta, which is quite funny. And the pale geranium lake used to be called geranium lake. And there's a whole list on their website of all these name changes, which is interesting. But I'm thinking, I've had Polychromos for so long, and I don't know about all these discontinued ones. It must have been such a long time ago. I'm sure I bought some Polychromos, our first ones probably in 2014, so quite early, really. So it's yeah, interesting. My mum got this pencil, by the way, from an independent art shop in her town, a really small shop. But it's fascinating because art shops normally sell pencils in the display units that the pencil maker supplies them with, and they have all the gaps for the different pencils. I don't know if you know what I mean, or if you've seen them. If you don't buy from a shop, you might not see. So they have little slots for all the different pencils with their names, and all the pencils go in their right slot. So that means either this art shop didn't have one of those, or they had a really old, out-of-date one. So, but unfortunately, the art shop has now closed down. So we can't go and ask anyone in the art shop about it. Now, when I'm colouring each item on this page, which I will do, I'm not going to just leave it looking like this. I'm going to come in and add some more colour, some more definition, I suppose, with this colour. I'm going to think about the light coming in the window a little bit, but don't worry, I'm not going to make it too complicated. The whole reason I wanted my moon to be completely central is that then it hits this right in the middle, and then everything this side has the shadow, the light from the moon on this side, and everything this side has the light from the moon on this side. So it makes it really easy for me to work out where to put the light and shade, and hopefully for you as well. Now we're going to go over each object again, but doing this means we've got our wallpaper done, our background done right away, which is nice and easy then. By the way, it's better to use a blunt pencil when you're doing this, but you can't always know that your pencil's going to be blunt. So I should have told you at the beginning, just in case you're all sharpened up. But anyway. There we go. You can see it's rough, it's ready, it's not amazingly neat, but it's getting there. We're going to start with our sphere, so let's come into the middle. Now the sphere is right in the centre, so the light's going to hit it actually on the top, so it's going to be darker under here, and actually if you look at it you can see that there are little dots drawn on it. So we're going to start putting a little bit of shadow down here, so we're just going to layer up our pencil a little bit here and here. And then we're just going to fade that up. Like sides as well. Now if you're really daunted by this page, you don't even have to do this step. You can just leave it with the darkened creepy look. Maybe put another layer of this colour over all of it and just leave it like that, sort of dusky sort of look going on. And just evening out my sort of background there, really. And then we're going to do this one as well. Very similar way. Like that. So there is our sphere. We can just leave it like that. We can layer it up a bit more. I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit and not off. Now we can do our little table underneath. How are we doing for time? That's okay. So this little stand here is going to be quite dark really, but I'd like to just put a little bit of definition in it, so I'm just going to make it darker on the edges like that. It looks a bit shiny. I don't know what would be making it shiny because it's in the shadows, but now I'm sharpening up my pencil because we're going into some of our details. Right. Now this table top is not going to be massively dark. I'm just going to add a little layer on top because I want basically our wall to be the lightest thing and the objects to be a little bit darker. So each object, now down here, remember I was saying we've got our moon coming down from the centre, so the shadow on this side is going to be on the shadows are going to be on the outsides, on the edges, so here. So this one, I'm going to start by just fading it into there. The same as our teapot kettle, whatever, it's a coffee pot, isn't it? So we're just putting our shadow on the outside edge of everything, and then like that. So we're almost ignoring, I mean, because this would be shadowing it as well, it adds complications, so I'm ignoring that to make it a little bit easier. Oh, sorry, I've got an itchy eye. Right, so there we go. So we don't have to worry about picking colour, which makes it all a bit easier. Little bitty plants. There we go. And now we've got the same going on with the shelves under here, so I'm going to colour the base a little bit. And this bit would be a bit darker because it's underneath the shelf. So like that. But now we're going to go in with our darker here on the edge of each book. And just move in. Yeah, it was lovely having being at my parents'. My son did his driving theory test, so we had to go into the town where they live in to take it. We'll start on this side now. And so we went into the town, got the train. We had a major normal train panic as the train, so this one's got a bit on each side because it's sort of in the middle, because we had I just think we should do a little bit on here too, as the train didn't, it was a train leaving London and it said there was a broken down train on the track blocking it, so it was delayed. We're like, oh no. We looked at the bus timetable instead, and the buses that said they were going to arrive, there was some, I don't know whether there was something wrong with the app or whether the buses have been cancelled, but it said they weren't going to be they were going to be delayed until the evening. It was really weird. So you can see I'm just still doing the edge of this. This one is in the middle, so it can have a bit on each side. And so it's like, my goodness, what are we going to do? But luckily the train moved and it was only 5 minutes late, So we got the train, then we to walk into town. I got a bit lost from the station into town because we went down this little footpath I'd never been down before. So that was exciting. So we're going to do this side now. So remember, everything on this side is darker. So I'm going to start up here. Actually, we've got our flowers. We'll start right up here with the leaves. You can't see. Actually, I'll come in a bit and move the book down a bit. There we go. So we're going to start up here with these leaves and do these from this side. Yes, got a bit lost, but because I went a different way, because I found this route that was quicker. It might have been quicker if we hadn't got lost, but anyways, we got there in the end, and we left so early we had plenty of time. Just thinking, I haven't done this bit around the window. I'm thinking maybe I should just do like the outside with a bit of shadow under there. And I'm doing that the wrong way. I want to do the inside. Yeah, I've done it wrong. Help, help. Pens, rubber. Just erase that bit there. And that bit there. Okay. It's not going to show that much. Yeah, so anyway, we got there in the end. Grabbed a little snack for his test. And then dropped him off, and me and my other boy went off to my mum's, and it started raining, and we were okay. We were a bit damp. We were fine. We had our max, and then my niece arrived, and she was wet. Her socks, her shoes had leaked, and her socks were soaked. And then my other niece arrived, and she was not quite so wet. It was raining hard, but she had waterproof shoes on. And then my boy arrived. He passed his theory test. Oh, so that was good. And then my dad arrived. He had been in the car, so he wasn't wet. My son was wet. He was fine. We do the underneath of this shelf a bit darker, and this side of the front like that, and this side of here and here. Yeah, and then later on in the afternoon, one of my niece's boyfriend arrived, and he had an umbrella that he had borrowed from. Oh, because he works in a bar, he borrowed an umbrella from there, and it had been one that someone had just left behind. So he did borrow that. It was quite a sensible idea. Anyway, so that was funny. But it was a big sort of golf umbrella, as they call them. They're huge, so it kept him very dry. And then later my husband arrived. Someone did leave though. My mum's hairdresser was there when we got there. She was lovely. I'd not met her before. So she goes to my mum's house to cut her hair. I don't know. I don't know how my mum sort of found out about her. She used to always go to a salon, and then it closed down, and she didn't know who to use. And I think someone had used this lady and sort of recommended her or something like that. So I'm not really talking you through what I'm doing, but I think I'm just doing the same for everything. So hopefully it's quite obvious. Anyway, so yeah, she was there. I had a chat with her. She was lovely, as I said. But yeah, and then so she left. So someone left. She didn't stay for lunch, but it was a lovely little get together. and because I was, well, it was because I was in the town and going to be visiting my parents, and yeah, there's a flame there, to remember that when we come back to it later. Because I was going there, my parents invited my nieces over to see us, which was really nice. So it was a lovely time. I didn't get to say goodbye to my dad though, because he was taking one of my nieces and her boyfriend home, and we decided to leave. I haven't thought about the mat. I think I should do something with it, but I'd come back to it. I mean, this is a mat as well. I can do that. So I want to make this look like, the idea of this is that the room is closed up for the night, there's no lights on, it's dark, but of course we have the candlelight, which doesn't quite work with my thought, but I think I'll make it work. We'll just have to use our imaginations a bit. But I think it will be okay. Make it look really dark in there and through there, like it's really dark in that corridor there. Like that. Oh, you can't see. I'm so sorry. So I've made it quite dark in there and around here. I'm so sorry. I need to come out a little bit, I think, or else you're going to miss a lot. So yeah, we had a nice, lovely time. My mum had made a nice roast. Lovely roast potatoes and parsnips and roast sweet potatoes. And then some load of other veg. She'd done cabbage and broccoli and carrots and peas, corn. Yeah, it's cauliflower. Lovely. And there was chicken for those that wanted it in gravy. And me and my niece did some tofu. And she did, I think, the girls had Greg's sausage roll. I've never had one of those, I'm not really my thing. But I had some tofu, which my niece prepped. Well, we put some soy sauce on. Yeah. It was nice, so that was all good. And then in the afternoon we played some games. It was quite funny actually. We played Catan, which was fun for a bit, but my mum and my one niece didn't join in, so we stopped while we finished. My son won, he always does. And we finished and decided to switch and play some cards. I'm going to do this rug. I think I'm just going to do a darker layer on top of it. So we played cards, we played rummy and whist, but there was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us playing, and so we had one pack of cards, so we had only 3 cards in our draw pile, because it's 7's a 4, we had 7 cards each, there's 49 cards being used, which was quite interesting. I'm going to make every other stripe a bit darker. So it was really odd. I'd never never done that before. So it made for a different game. So you just had to rely on people throwing away what you wanted in the rummy and the whist. You knew all the cards were out nearly, so you had to be really careful. Right, let's have a think about this border. Let's come out. Now, we've got 2 options. The easy option is to use a thick black pen and just go over the whole thing. I think I'm going to use my black to do this line. So I'm going to do this border line here in a thick black. But what I'm going to do is use the lighter colour blues that we used just in our window to do to do the inside of our border. But let's just do this outside. So yeah, I had a rather good day. And the day before I had a day off as well. I just did colouring. I didn't do any recording, any editing, anything. So I had a few days off, which is rare for me. Normally I work every day of the week or 7 days a week. So I was saying that at my parents' yesterday, I've had a day off. I normally work 7 days a week. And my dad was like, you can take time off, you know, you can afford not to work. And I was like, well, actually, it's nice to have a bit of money to contribute. But he doesn't always, he's got his, I know it doesn't matter. I said, I like it. I like what I do. And my niece's boyfriend said he would quite like to do this as well. He said his mother is a YouTuber. He's told me before. I need to ask him what she does. I think she does art, actually. But he said that he knows how long it takes to build up your channel. And he doesn't think he can't afford the time because he's got to work full time because he needs the money. But also he doesn't know if he could sort of have the patience to do it, sort of thing, really, which was quite interesting. I keep putting my elbow on my eraser. Let's just move it out of my elbow. But so that, yeah, is interesting. That but I think what he was saying he could do was commentary on games, watching people or playing games. Apparently he's quite funny and quite rude, which people find amusing. But I think sometimes with people, although they say they haven't got the time, they might be able to make the time to do a little bit. But I think this can also be a confidence issue, you know, where it's quite hard to start. I was really nervous when I first started. I sort of forced myself, and I reminded myself that if you're not live, which I'm obviously not, then, oh, it's not very good, I've got to sharpen it. If you do it wrong or you don't like it, you can just throw it away. You don't have to put it up. And just remind myself of that. And that helped to give me the confidence that I needed. But I think I did used to get a bit worried, but now I don't. I mean, I guess it's like anything. When you first do it, you're not so confident. This is very awkward because of the rings. But yeah, you just grow and get more confident. Now you could do this with a gel pen if you want. It'd probably be easier than with a pencil. I'm sure I've got a black gel pen next door. It's not very useful there. But anyway, I woke up thinking about storage rooms. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? I was thinking about how my husband's got lots of stuff that he doesn't want to throw away and doesn't necessarily need to. But I was thinking, you know, he could do with a big storage room, like a garage, I suppose. We turned our garage into kitchen. With lots of labelled drawers or boxes, things like cables. I'm sure there are different types of cables with different names, and keyboards and mice and drives and you know, to just have a sort of space for everything. Now, when I finish this bit, I'm going to look at the time and decide whether I'm going to do a second video for the rest. Let me have a look. 36. No, I think we can carry on. Right, this bordery bit, I'm going to do a background in the sky blue. So I'm just going to do, you can see we've got this sort of background area. I'm going to cover it, but I'm going to do it quite hard. It's going to be darker than our not darker, but more intense than the actual picture. I'm going to go quickly though, so you'll have to pause and catch up with me, I expect. Now I'm going to go over everything, including the bits that overlap here, because they need to work. There we go. There's a clunky water sound. Everyone's getting up, having their showers, having their breakfast. Can always hear it all in this office, study, whatever you call it. Junk room, I think that's what it is. There must be a way we can organise things better in this house. I think we should have a family conflab about it, really. Did I do that bit? I'm not sure. My poor son, he's got the attic bedroom. He's got half of his room, he's got stuff stored in it. But thinking about it, while we're all here still, while the boys are living here, there just isn't room for everything. And the thing is, it's really hard because I think I don't want, when they move out, me to quickly just convert their bedrooms into sort of a craft room or a storage room or a junk room or whatever, because they might feel they can never come back. Like, my husband said that he was sent off to school, you know, he went to boarding school, and when he finished school he went back home and he did 3 or 4 jobs before he moved out, and he was, you know, he could save up. He went back to uni, and all sorts, and moved back home because it meant he could save up a bit of money, and we think they're going to be even more likely to need to do that, the boys, because it's so expensive these days, everything. I think part of the reason everything is so expensive is because we need more than we used to. I mean, need is an interesting word, but you know, when I left home, I had no mobile phone, no computer, no internet connection, no car, nothing, you know, didn't need it. Right, ultramarine we're going to use to fill in all of the detailing on our border, and we're going to block it in, so there's going to be no shading. It's just going to be blocked in quite hard like that. So yeah, I didn't have all this stuff, you know, a mobile phone contract. How much does that cost? You know, a broadband. Even those two costs are quite a lot, you know. And I didn't even have a washing machine when I first moved out of home. Didn't have a dishwasher. I used to hand wash clothes, and used to take my sheets to my mum's because I lived in the same town as her, so that was useful. I hand wash everything else. I had a spin dryer. They were much cheaper than a washing machine, and used to just hang things up on an airer. You know, a clothes horse, clothes airer, I don't know. And or we had a washing line, I think, in our conservatory. So, you know, we didn't have a TV, we didn't have a TV license, you know, there was so much less to buy. We would, on my pay, I could afford to pay my rent and bills, you know, gas, electric, water, food. I used to pay towards my sister's petrol money because she would drive me into town from work, and drive me to my parents and stuff, and then, or our parents, but you know, I would help with that. And then everything else, I had barely any left, and I would we'd occasionally go to the cinema, and that would be it. But if I had to now pay for broadband, computer, phone, even those, I wouldn't have been able to manage, or I wouldn't have been able to go to the cinema, you know. So we've sort of increased what we need, and that's increased our expenses without the fact that energy bills are now significantly higher, and food bills and rents and everything is higher. But so it's very tricky. I do feel sorry for young people, because I was talking to my niece about it. I was saying, you know, when we were young, there wasn't the pressure to do well. When you're in school, yeah, of course people wanted you to do well, but there was no, oh, you've got to do really well so you can get to uni, well, even younger, you've got to do well so you can get to grammar school. That's what you get now, because you have the entrance exam, and then you've got to do well so you go to uni, and you've got to go get a really good grade so you can get a really good job, because everything is so expensive. And the problem is, my niece said, is you get all this, you go to uni, you finish your course, and there actually aren't any jobs that you can use your degree for. So you spent all that time studying and you can't use your degree. And I'm with her there, but I haven't been able to use mine. But I absolutely loved my time at uni. I really liked it. So I don't feel like it was a waste of time at all. And luckily I had uni was free when I went. So I was very, very lucky, and I feel very privileged to certainly appreciate that. But it was just interesting what she was saying, and there's all that stress on you to do so well, and then, you know, can't get a job. But she's doing a bit of extra study still, and hopefully she'll be able to do something that she enjoys. She's actually says she's doing really well for herself at the moment. She's working a couple of days a week, earning enough money to pay her rent and bills, and she'll be doing a bit of uni as well, so that's really good. But she seemed really happy, so that was really good. So I was pleased for her. The only thing is, she lives where she's living now is quite far away from my parents and from uni, and from her job, but she has to just walk, and I think she manages okay. So that's all good. But yeah, I do think young people have it hard, and unfortunately my one son isn't enjoying uni too much. He's finding, well, he finds the work hard. It's not surprising. And I was hoping that my boys would really enjoy it like I did, but never mind. Hopefully it will get them to a good job. Right, this half to do, and then we're going to go in with some white pen. I know that we're going on a bit long, but I just feel like I'd like to get this done in one video. But I'm probably going too fast. But it's quite simple, so I don't think I need to slow down for you and help you absorb and catch up, because I'm just blocking it in. Now we've got a lot of stars on this border. I'm not going to do anything special with these. I'm just going to colour them in like everything else in the border, because I want the border to look like a border, if you know what I mean. Whereas the stars that are in here, I was wondering whether to light up a little bit, you know, put some white pen on them. But there's so many, they're sort of the wallpaper. So I think I might not. I might leave them as if they're printed on the wall rather than actual magical shiny stars. But we're just going to do a little bit on the candles and things to make them look a little bit shiny. And of course, because our light's only coming from the window, not the candles, the shadows won't quite be right. But as I said, I was keeping it really simple for me and for you, so hopefully that's okay. But if you want a different, if you don't like this way that I've coloured it, or you want to look at a different way, I've done this differently in my other set of videos for this page when I did the proper page in the book. So you can go back and look at that and then decide whether you want to do it this way or that way, or just a completely different way. I can't remember how I did the border, but I know I used very different colours. I'd probably use some blue, but I think I used pinks, purples, blues, sort of that sort of range of colour. Seems like it's oh no, it's getting dark. I thought it was drying up, but I'm wrong. I think it's getting darker again. I've got to go out. Don't want to go out. Don't make me go out in the rain. Right, so we're going to do our white. I'm going to grab my white pen. This is a Jelly Roll 8. Let's come in closely so you can see what I'm doing. So we've got our two candles either side of the window. So I'm just going to get my white and I'm going to go over the flame with white. It's not going to show up very well. And over the lines like that, and then this one. Now we've got another candle here. And there's another one there. Unfortunately, because my pen isn't that dark, it just looks a bit like I've erased them. Right, the final thing you can do if you want is to make your moon look sparkly and shiny. It's something I'm thinking about whether I want to do, but it's going to be quite fiddly within this window, so I think I might just leave it there actually. There are our colours in order. There we go. There we are. I think it's okay. I think it does look like a sort of darkened room. Maybe it could do with being a little bit more intense colour wise, but I'm going to leave it like that, quite simple. Hopefully that was fun for you. Oops. And I'll put a link as well in the description for this, because these are quite hard to find, I think, and they're very useful to say. But I'll try and put a link for all the different things and to the previous set of videos in case you'd rather do it in a different way. But thank you for watching. Hope you have a super Monday and happy colouring.